I served my cheating wife who left for AP just to sleep with him and now is absolutely devastated cause she became hated by her own children. I'm not really sure what I am looking for in posting this. Tomorrow is my mediation day and I'm a little numb and restless. I, 43M, have been married to my STBXW, 41F, for 19 years together for 25 years. We met in high school. I found out in October, the day before our 19th anniversary, she had at least an EA, but I also believe she also had a PA, but she would not admit it with the current guy. She said they only kissed. Yeah, right. She told me she loved him, he is married with 2 kids, and then she said I love you but I am not in love with you. But on the same day she admitted to a PA with a different man 12 years ago. The basics to the story is she pretended to try and work it out and eventually asked for a divorce. It's so much more messier than this and I may tell the whole story someday. I just don't have the energy tonight. She moved out in January and my girls, 10 years old and 15 years old, have lived with her at her parents' house and my son, 16 years old, lives with me. I see my girls often and try to talk to them every day. My son has become so much closer to me. I love them all so much and I hate that this has happened to them as well. Maybe I'm looking for encouraging words. Wisdom, I have prayed a lot about this and then again maybe not enough. I know she has at least told her family lies about me, but they also know some of the truth. It's weird to be a part of a family and then all of a sudden you are a stranger. Here is something I wrote to her last night, but I won't send it because I know it would mean nothing to her. The devil's work is almost done. I'm mad/sad that all 3 of our kids are in therapy. I'm mad/sad that you are the other woman. You have destroyed more than our marriage. Our kids are forever changed because of your actions. I worry how this will affect their future relationships. You have destroyed other families and that makes me sick. How and why would you choose to be the other woman? It's disgusting and I know you know it is wrong. You are one of the most selfish people I know. You didn't just make a one-time mistake. You choose to do this over and ever after being confronted you choose evil. That relationship is from the devil. This could hurt your soul. You will never be able to be in a relationship where you are not an adulteress. As far as I know you are still with your affair partner. You both have started a relationship built on a lie. One of you will cheat on the other and if not I'm sure it will be miserable if you have a conscience. I know for a fact that he has already questioned what he has done and tried to go back to his wife. But I say to you that everyone who divorces his wife, except on the grounds of sexual immorality, makes her commit adultery, and whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Matthew 5 verse 32. He said to them, because of your hardness of heart Moses allowed you to divorce your wives, but from the beginning it was not so. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife, except for sexual immorality, and marries another, commits adultery. Matthew 19 verses 8-9. You lied for so long it is hard to tell what was ever true. Is this who you were along and I didn't know it, or did you change? I do believe you did me a favor forcing the divorce. You made the statement that maybe you don't deserve me. Maybe that is true, but if you didn't force this I would have kept trying to love you and save our marriage. How do you not feel remorse or shame or guilt? How do you sleep at night knowing what evil you have done? You said at one point you were praying and talking to God, but if there is no change, is there really any sorrow or repentance? I know that is between you and God, but it is one more thing I don't understand. How do you sit in church and not feel guilt or shame? How did you sit with me and our family and not feel shame and guilt? You are not too far gone, you can still be saved. I don't mean we can have a relationship, especially now, but you can repent and return to God. I believe that would mean putting away that selfish person you have become. I have said in the past you are a good mother. I believe I lied to you. A good mother would not have done this to her family. You are a selfish person who just loves herself. Maybe you care about the children, but because of how it makes you look at the world. I know how much you care about your image. As for me, I have tried hating you, but it does no good. I really could have come after you, I mean your career, you always cared about that more, but I decided that time will take care of everything. I don't need to hurt you because you are broken. I'm sure there has to be a lot of pain to do the things you have done. In some ways, I pity you. I'm saying my last goodbyes and releasing you. Update. Last week, my ex-wife, her dad showed up too, and I worked out a settlement agreement in mediation. It took all day, but we got it done. Basically, since we all agreed it's over. Only one party has to prove it up to the judge. I was nice that day and let the girl stay with her because she had family that came to town. We switched days. Trying to extend the olive branch. I believe she has messaged me every day since then for some reason. I ignored most of it because it wasn't about the kids. Thursday night, my mom took a fall and broke her hip and leg. My poor mom is a saint too. She has dedicated her life to her family and especially my older sister who is mentally handicapped. Friday was a proud day and I have more than the divorce on my mind. It goes quickly with me and my lawyer is the only ones to attend. Remember, we have already agreed on everything, so this is basic info for the courts to accept what everyone has signed and agreed. I got my girls because this is my day I got back for last week's exchange date. My ex-wife is messaging me about something and I replied in a snarky way, "Congratulations on getting the divorce you wanted." She cheated on me, she messaged back and said she hasn't seen any paperwork, so hold off. I told her I went before the judge today, so as of June 11, 2021 we are divorced. Her messaging stops. I don't know why, because I thought she would be happy because this is what she wanted. I go to cook dinner with my middle child and I get a call from my ex-father-in-law asking me to come out and talk to him. We haven't spoken in weeks. I see him at my kids' games and when I pick up and drop off the kids, but we don't speak. He just stares at me. I just assume he has been lied to and is going to believe whatever his daughter tells him. I got my old phone and turned the recorder on because this isn't normal. I walked out and he is sitting in my driveway in his truck. I walked around to the driver's side and he didn't get out, he just had his window rolled down. He said, "How do you go before the judge without her?" I said, "David, this isn't about you. He was there last week under my protest too. I didn't marry you and I'm not divorcing you, so I'm not having this conversation with you. I should have gone inside at this point. If she wants to talk, I'll do it with her, but stay out of this." He said, "You will tell me." I pointed my finger at him to make my point that much cleaner and he swatted at me and he said, "Don't you point at me. It's my house and I'll point wherever I want." I know this is a dumb argument. I told him his daughter is an adulterous woman who has been sleeping with a married man. He called me a liar. I said she has slept with more than one married man and destroyed families. He acted surprised at first and then asked how would I know. I said I've seen the bills and records. Plus I talked to the cheater's ex-wife. He goes to the point that he doesn't care about the cheating. Say I spent all the money. She got thousands of dollars just today. And he would have cheated if he had to live with me. He said he knows everything. I said, "I guess not if you don't know about her having affairs with married men. His other 2 daughters have done the same." I asked how it felt raising 3 adulteresses. That his enabling is part of the problem. What would his own dad think? His dad was a very righteous man. He raised *beep. Okay, I was really mad, but maybe I crossed a line. He reached out and punched me in the arm. I defend myself and hit back. I tell him to stop. I don't want to fight this old man. He starts yelling about the judge again. I explained the process and he is still mad, saying their attorney didn't tell them anything. Not my fault. He starts saying I'm crazy and my son, his grandson, will be just like me. I said he will be a good man and I hope he doesn't marry *beep. He backs out and keeps saying this isn't over. He revs his engine and I think he is about to run over me. I move near our solid ground basketball goal. I don't know how much this will stop, but it's all I had, thank goodness. He finally leaves. I called the cops and they took a report, but I decided not to press charges right now. I have 2 years to act on it. The police went and spoke to my ex and her sister. She is crazy too, she could be her own post. Her dad happened to not be home at the time. The sister actually came to my house while I was talking to the police. I finally came back inside and my girls are waiting on me. I had to fill them in a little because I believe one of them saw the police. It was almost 10, so they decided to go to bed. Kinda sad way to end the day. Gave hugs and told them I love them and I will keep them safe. I'm not sure what "this is not over" really means, but I guess he, ex-father-in-law, has something planned. Who knows what he is thinking? Hope this craziness makes sense. I'll keep hoping things will get better from here. Update 2. If you didn't read my last post, the basics are my mom fell and broke her left leg and hip Thursday night. She had surgery Friday morning. While she was in surgery, I went before the judge to prove up my mediation to make my divorce final. There is one more piece of paperwork that needs to be turned in. My ex and I were messaging about the house Friday afternoon because we are selling it, and I made a snarky comment about being divorced and she acted like she didn't know anything. She fired her attorney that day and left a message with my attorney. Within 5 minutes of the call, her dad was at my house causing trouble and the cops got called. Saturday, I took my middle child to her basketball tournament. My ex messaged saying she was coming to pick up a few personal things from the house. She still had clothes here, so that is what I thought she was taking, and it's my fault for thinking instead of asking. While I am at my daughter's basketball game, I get a call that my mother had a stroke and she was being life-flighted to a bigger hospital that can help. I get home to find the house gutted. She took a lot. Part of the agreement was everything stays till the house until it's sold. She may be mad because she had told her AP that she was getting everything she wanted back in November, which included the house and kids. She didn't get the house, and my son is living with me. I see my girls almost every day too. I don't think she read or apparently didn't understand what we agreed to the week before, or maybe like our marriage, she doesn't care. I was so worried about my mom, I didn't care at the moment what was going on with the house and took off to be with her. My mom has been in the ICU until today. She is doing better but has a long way to go. My ex did call on Monday to ask about my mom. Or maybe she was fishing if I'm going after her dad for attack. She tried to explain that her dad was with her when she found out the divorce was final, and she was upset she didn't get to go before the judge too. She said I would do the same for my girls. She also insisted she didn't know why she left, and it wasn't until it was over that he came to my house. She said she fired her attorney because she wanted changes made to our mediation settlement. It says at least 3 times that this agreement is final. The mediator and my attorney told me the same thing. The message she left for my attorney was she wanted 30 to see what her options are, but she is not in a hurry to do anything because I have so much going on with my mother. I messaged my attorney and told her I don't trust her at all and get that last bit of paperwork finished. She did it yesterday, so we will see. My attorney and my brother, who is also an attorney, said my ex can't do anything. That it's done. I really don't know what the big deal is because she wanted the divorce and she has an AP. Let's end this and let me go. I made it home last night and was trying to figure out what all got taken. Some things we were supposed to split, and you can guess how that worked out for me because I was not here. One thing that is a little puzzling is why I took all the Bibles. We had a collection of them. She doesn't obviously care what is written in the Bible, so why take them? I'm sure she has justified her actions, but that doesn't make it right with God. I sometimes want to message and ask/tell her some of these things, but I know I'm wasting my breath. I believe she is with AP this week, and now that we divorced, I need to let it go. I sometimes shake when I think about them together. I did it tonight, and my middle child saw it and was really worried about me. It's not good. I hope I never meet him because I don't know if I can keep myself from going after him. I know it's her too, but I may have to leave if he comes around at some point. I'm starting IC again soon and I know I need it. Anyway, thanks for the prayers for Mom. I know many of you are going through tough times with your spouse or ex. I wish you all the best and peace. Update 3. It's been a little bit since my last update and things have settled down since the divorce is final now. It's been 6 weeks since the divorce was final. For some reason she was mad about our mediation and tried to come back for more, but thank goodness I had a good family law attorney to shut that down. She fired her attorney after everything was done, so that's kind of funny. I thought everything was fair, but maybe that's why she was mad. I forced the sale of our house, the home was already destroyed, and she was mad about that too. Back in November, she told her AP that she was getting everything, which included the house and kids. I offered her to buy me out, but she wanted to give me no equity. I'm glad it went down this way, because coming to my old house to get my kids while another man's truck is in my driveway would have sucked. I actually had to deal with that last night as I dropped her last items off. I didn't see her, but it still kinda hurt. My son also chose to live with me, so that's awesome. My relationship with him has gotten so much closer. My daughters will be fine, but I worry what lies have been told to them and what they actually believe. I really can't worry too much about that because I have no control over it. I have gone on a few dates, but I realize I'm not ready for that, so I'm going to just keep working on myself. I set a goal last August to run 500 miles and I have about 50 to go. I have also found a new church home, and that's great. Without God, family, and friends, I'm not sure where I would be. I thank a lot of you in this community too. Coming here has helped a lot with my decision-making process as well. So thank you all for reading and responding. I wish you all the best too. Today is kinda bittersweet. The house sells tomorrow, and I feel like it's the last page of this chapter of my life. After we close on the house this week, I can start focusing on the future. Thanks again to all of you. 1 year update. I write this as encouragement to all those who are going through the hell of discovering your spouse or partner has cheated. Yesterday was 1 year since I discovered that my wife/best friend/everything had been cheating on me for over a year, and the confession that it wasn't the first time. Today would have been our 20th anniversary. I actually thought today would hurt, but I've come so far since I discovered the affair. At first I was in disbelief. The why and how could she do this to me? Then why would she do this to our family? As far as I knew, life was good, but she was unhappy, her words, and she didn't talk to me about it but gave herself to another man. The first few months the pain was unbearable at times. I would cry hard at different triggers and I had a hard time even going to work. We tried to save the marriage for a few months, but in the end she wanted the divorce. You can't make someone love you, so I filed for divorce. I kept my vows of remaining faithful until the divorce was final in June. Since then I have started dating. It's crazy out here, and doing things to make myself better and happier. I accomplished a goal of running 500 miles. I ran a 5K and did 3 half marathons on my own. I have a business that me and my dad started last year, and it's going good. I wish I could say every day was good, but I still have my ups and downs. I still have to interact with my ex because we have kids, but for myself I keep that to the basics. Life is good and God has been with me. I still have a long way to go, but looking at where I was, I've come a long way. If you just started going through this hell, seek help in the form of close friends and family. Seek God. Go to therapy and get yourself help. Good books to read to help you understand what just happened. 2 books that really helped me were Chump Lady. She also has a blog, Leave a Cheater and Gain a Life, and Cheating in a Nutshell. Seek advice here too. Many people here helped me through this hell. Be cautious about all of it and make your own decisions about what you want to do. If you want to reconcile, then try it. I did. If you know it's over, make your plans to move on with your life. Don't give up. I know that is easy to say. Now keep going, because you will get through this hell. I don't know you personally, but I understand your pain. Sending you all much love. Found a hickey on my wife's neck. Started her tracking, and when I saw what the tracker showed, my hair stood on end. Brief summary of what happened before. When we started dating, she didn't want anything serious. I didn't know at the time, but there was another guy after her, before we started hanging out, that lived on her old town. One day she told me that the reason she didn't want anything serious was because of this guy and their history together, but that earlier that day she had ended things with him. 6 months go by and she breaks up with me with no real reason other than she wasn't sure. We get back together 2 weeks later, and after we got back together she mentioned that she was planning on visiting her friends back in her old town. I didn't think anything of it. While she was there she kept same level of communication with me and everything was golden. Few months passed by and all of a sudden she is super affectionate with me, which I found super strange, and wants to make tons of life plans with me out of the blue. At this point we've been dating for almost 1 year. I did find it strange that she was being over affectionate, and I start to ask questions since it looked fishy. Well, turns out that's the day she decided to fully devote herself to me. She totally said that, which I reply with, "What do you mean you're ready to fully devote yourself to me? I thought you were already doing that." Up to this point, I know there was something wrong, but every time I asked, she would reassure me that everything was okay, but I knew something was weird, just didn't know what. She mentions that the reason she went back to her old town was to find out if she still had feelings for that other guy and that nothing happened between them. I was devastated to find out that I was consolation prize. I should have broken up with her right there, but for some stupid weird reason that I don't know why I didn't, chose to stay with her and work it out. Now, everything was great for almost another year. Then she went on a vacation to another country with 2 of her female friends and 1 male ex-coworker that invited himself last minute, and since he was gay, the other girls were okay with it. I tried to just do away with all my suspicions, but I just couldn't. At this point, she was 2 months pregnant and tough to myself. We're going to have a family, she should at least treasure that, right? Well, the day she got back from her vacation, she was cold towards me, barely even said thanks for driving over 4 hours total to go pick her and her friends from the airport and drop them back home. One of her friends gave me a better hug than what she did when I saw them at the airport. Over the next couple of days, several red flags have been raised. One came to bed and she was looking at pictures from her trip, and I clearly saw a picture of a person I've never seen, not the gay guy. She goes on to say that someone they were on the same trip with them. They took one of those all-included trips where they take you everywhere and all you do is just show up. They just bunch you up with random people that sign up for that trip. When she was abroad, she never even mentioned this person over the phone. All of a sudden, after I saw that picture on her phone and didn't say anything, she could not stop talking about this person she met while abroad. And all of a sudden she wanted to get an iPhone 11 because they took great pictures. Turns out this guy had one. She's been an Android user all her life. I've tried to convince her to switch to an iPhone, even offered to give her my old iPhone 8, since her phone is crappy, from 2013. 3 went over to a party of one of her friends that went on the trip with them. I was sitting next to her and her friend comes and starts making conversations, and to show my GF that she too got an iPhone 11 and that they took great pictures, that's when she says, "I haven't heard from so-and-so, wonder if he is going to send all the pictures he has of me." Then she realized that I was next to her and then said, "Pictures she has of all of us." For she tells me that she is going to bed early. I still had some things to do, had to prepare for my next day at work, iron shirts, etc. I didn't like the shirt that I was ironing, so go into the bedroom to get another one. She didn't hear me walk into the bedroom, lights were off and she was on her laptop. I go to the closet and open it and then turn the lights on. We have a clapper, so I just clapped twice and lights were on. As soon as that happens, she slams her laptop screen to close it and then goes under the covers. Few days later, I was in my man cave and she was in the living room once again with her laptop and her phone. I go to the kitchen to get some water and see her. I stop by to give her a kiss and she just turns her laptop off and throws it to the side and yells, "Duck this laptop, it's dying." I was leaning in to give her a kiss, then noticed that one of her hands was down in her pants. Then she starts scratching her crotch like if it were itching. I chose to sat down between her and the laptop, and man, never seen her so nervous. I moved the laptop a bit to get more space and she immediately looks at me like, "WTF are you doing?" I knew something was up, but have no proof. I try to show her something in the kitchen and she says okay. I get up and wait for her to get up with me, grabbed her by the hand to help her out, and she doesn't want to get up, saw this nervous look on her face. She tells me you'll be there in a bit. I go to the kitchen. When I get there, I hear her shut her laptop screen and then she came into the kitchen. I'd been super paranoid ever since. She randomly hits the home button of her phone as soon as come near her. At this point, I'm just over it, just want her to admit she is ducking someone else so I can break up with her. After finding out I was the consolation prize, something kind of died inside me and couldn't find the strength to break up with her. Only reason I'm with her now is because she is pregnant and don't want to be a douche and just leave her because I have suspicions. Just wanted to get some advice and see what you guys think of my current situation. Update. Year later. Had some of the most awkward sex over the weekend with my during I noticed that she had a hickey, and thought to myself, when did I do that? She noticed something was up and I pointed it out. Her response was, "You probably kissed me too hard." Well, I could not get that off my head, replay our encounter over and over, and at no point did I suck on her body to that point where a hickey would show up, and then all the dots connected. Last week noticed that she went out of her way to wear turtlenecks for 3 days IRO, and all of a sudden she was wearing a shirt to go to sleep. She sleeps topless. One of those nights we did have sex. We usually have sex 3 to 5 days per week, usually 2 or more times. I noticed that she would not take her shirt off. She would put it up all the way past her breast, but would not take the shirt off. And she was only comfortable having sex with the lights off. Well, over the weekend, she had no more turtlenecks to wear, so she tried covering it up with makeup, to which I thought, why are you covering that up, if I'm the only one in the house that's looking at you, and 2, why would I be not okay with something I did to you? Well, through the rest of the day, I noticed that she would actually go out of her way to hide the hickey from me, almost like she was ashamed of it. I've given her hickeys before, but this is the first time that she actively hides it from me. She had 2 days off coming up, and something in my gut was like, you need to keep tabs on her. So went to good old Amazon and order a GPS tracker. Super easy to set up and came with a magnetic box, so even easier to attach it to her car. Unfortunately, the tracker did not get home until Tuesday night. That night, as I got home from work and asked her about her day, all of a sudden she got angry for me asking her what she had to eat today. She got a few text messages on her phone. She immediately got up from the couch, put on her shoes and left the house. I asked where she was going, and all she replied was, going somewhere. She was gone for a solid hour, drove to the only place that I thought she could be at, but she was not there. When I got home, she was already back home and completely avoided me for the rest of the night. Wished I would have gotten that tracker sooner. Tuesday night/Wednesday morning, I did not sleep. I set up the tracker, tested, and in the morning, I put it on her car as I was going to mine on my way to work. Wednesday morning, while at work, was the hardest. My stomach was turning, wanted to know where she was going to go. She doesn't know anyone in this city. We both are from a city that's pretty far from where we currently live. On her days off, she usually goes on walks, or so she tells me when I get home from work. Around noon, I get a notification that her car is moving. Car drives up to a local Walmart and remains parked there for 3.5 hours, and I tell myself she better be buying the entire ducking store, because we've never taken that long at Walmart. Finally, her car moves about 15 minutes away from where it was. When I finally got a notice where her car had stopped, my heart was crushed. Her car was parked at a motel. There is no reason why she needed to be there. I wanted to leave work, but had an important meeting that I could not get out of, was doing a presentation. I make peace with myself knowing that I could not go there and catch her on the act. On my way home, decide to check out the tracker to see where she was, and it seemed that she spent 1 hour at the hotel and then came home. 5 minutes before I get home, I get a notice that her car was moving again. I came home and she was not there, of course. Texted her if she wanted something for dinner since she wasn't home and I was going to cook for myself. She replied with, I already had dinner. So I decided to get something to eat, so went and got some tacos down the street. When I got home, she was taking a shower, went over, said hi to her, asked her about her day, and all her responses were one word. She went to bed right after the shower, and this morning she left for work when I was asleep. That's where I'm at the moment. Will confront her today and ask about her day yesterday to see what lies she tells me. Pretty sure she is going to say that she went for a walk, but that's when I'm going to let her know that I know. I don't know how to bring up the subject, besides asking what she did yesterday. I've noticed that every time she doesn't have a story to lie about or she gets cornered, she gets angry, deflects or walks away from the conversation.